In time.
It's
Wow. What's up, everybody? It's Wes, Hank, and Andy. The three of us are back.
what is going on?
I haven't looked at the calendar to really dial in on how long of a break we've been on.
No,
It's been a while.
It has been a while. And not that we're here to talk about that. Let's just say we're happy that everybody's here tonight. And we are back. We were never going anywhere.
No.
We might not have been very clear about that, but we were never going anywhere. And we are in fact here. There's a familiar face. It's our friend Nate, the Retro Tinker. G'day, long time no see.
What is going on?
I know it's been a while, and we are acutely aware of that. We're just happy to be here and happy to hang out and happy to tell stories and hang out with all of our friends, which is all of you guys. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much. Sean, hello, Sean. Hi. Thanks for showing up
awesome,
week in and week out. It's amazing. You know, we sometimes we get these little blurbies of, hey, we're going to go live. Sometimes minutes before we go live. I know we could do better on that. But for those of you who turn up time and time again, we love you all. So thank you for doing that. There may have been a little thing over the weekend. You might have heard of it. I don't know. I mean, if you were actively searching the news you might have saw that there may be a new Spiderman film out.
Well, if you were just casually watching the news, 100% they mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was that little tidbit.
There was, yeah.
There was that little tidbit. What's interesting is that we've openly criticized it. This is a good thing to start on. Let's talk about box office predictions. Mm-hmm. Because especially you and I, Andy, we spend more time together in the same place, so we get to talk about this more often. And Hank, please chime in with your opinion on this.
Yeah, man.
These box office predictions, more often than not, make me angry because it's like the weekend ain't over yet, guys.
Yeah, like with Masters, by Friday they were like, "Yeah, it's a flop."
I think that's where it gets me is that
It hasn't happened yet.
Most recently with a lot of the movies that we as nerds have been collectively sort of excited for have all been like, "Oh, it's a flop." Mm-hmm. The weekend's not over, man. Like, just let it go. Let it breathe.
I get it. You want to use your AI algorithms and predict the future, but
I know.
I hate that's a benchmark of what, like.
Yes, that should not be the end-all test.
No. And there are plenty of films that score 51 Rotten Tomatoes that I love, and there are plenty of films that get 98 that I think you people are crazy.
I know.
Right?
I know.
But if we're going to make art, that's not how we're going to move forward making art, because what we're doing is and the behind the scenes stuff in this movie, if we're going to get into that tonight, is that they made about 15 different movies, and then they like cut different ones together and showed test audiences until they thought they got it right. And everybody is upfront admitting that. And it's like, are we doing art or are we just people pleasing? Because I don't know, man.
I feel like
don't
that.
know. I hate that that's a benchmark that like.
It definitely overlaps things that we've talked about. I'll start by saying that nobody sets out to make a bad movie.
No.
So it certainly
crosses
that.
No, I don't. I absolutely agree. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie. But I think that like the way we're going, and get off my lawn, guys here. But the way we're going is like, I want to go see movie X, whatever
Yep,
that
yep.
is. And if I don't know, and maybe I'm just putting myself in a place where I'm not supposed to be. But if I'm 25 and I want to go see movie X, am I like, am I reading reviews of the movie before I go and see the movie and letting something inform me about whether I want to see the movie? Am I just glancing at the headlines and going, it's got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes? Is that going to make me see the movie? Is that what that's designed to do? Or I, I don't know. I feel like we're missing something. I feel like that stuff is so off to the left when we're appreciating art.
Yeah.
And I feel like some art's not getting made because of it.
Can I just say this? I want to come back to the box office, the prediction thing, because this movie, of course, for those of you who haven't figured this out by now, we are talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. That is the topic of conversation tonight on this Random Fandom Tuesday. It's all Spider-Man all night. So if you have not seen Brand New Day, this is your one warning. Get out now, because we are not holding back. So
Full spoiler cast.
back to the prediction thing.
Yeah.
The numbers weren't closed, and everybody was reporting it's the second highest domestic opening of any film in history.
Wrong.
And that was wrong for a good reason, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, it is the highest domestic opening of any film in history.
All in, all done. It is now beat Endgame.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week. You and I did, Andy, about some of these predictions, and we had said that this has the potential to be Endgame numbers, and here we are, and it was.
It was.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, 100%.
Akin to that, on the news a couple weeks ago, they were reporting, about the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, tickets have been bought a year in advance for this. I'm like, how the hell do you
where
get
are they?
tickets
Yeah,
a year
where
in
are
advance?
they getting their tickets that far in
I
advance?
will
Because
say for
certainly
the
I'm not.
Odyssey, I will say that was way harder to buy tickets for than Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, you went to see the Odyssey in IMAX,
I
though,
haven't
didn't you?
seen it yet. I was
well,
only
you've got
able
your
to get
tickets,
tickets
right?
for next weekend. That was the only time I was able to get tickets for it.
Isn't that
It's been-
something, eh?
And that's super. I haven't been to a sold out movie in a long time.
Nate just wants to say, okay, I am heeding the warning. I'm leaving a like and tapping out. Have a great stream, guys.
Oh,
Okay.
wicked. Oh, come
Sorry,
on,
Nate.
Nate.
We didn't mean to scare you off, but if you want to go in
Unspoiled.
yes, unspoiled, you are doing the right thing.
I
And
don't think I
besides,
said anything yet.
you can catch us in the replay.
Once you've seen it.
All right. Okay. Yeah, man. Here we are. Did we say hi to Josh?
We put his comment up, but we didn't.
We didn't. Did we
say,
officially say hi to Josh? Where are you? Where are you?
There he is.
Where you are? There's Josh.
Welcome.
Hey, Josh. Nice of you to show up. I
man?
hope you're having a good. I was going to say weekend, but
Hope you've seen it so you can
it's
stick around.
Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Yeah. Or you just don't care. I mean, if you don't
Or you
care
don't
and
care.
you don't care what people say about this thing or about the things, and you just want to listen to the three of us metaphorically punch each other. Stick around. It should be fun. I don't know where to go with this. I mean, box office aside, I mean, you know me as the voice of the general movie-going audience, I don't believe for a second that we, the nerds, put that much money in this movie. So I do believe that this one got the general moviegoers out, and they liked it. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. It has the highest critical score of any of the Spider-Mans, although it has, this is funny, it has the lowest audience score, but even that was like, the last time I looked yesterday was 90%.
Oh, is that all?
Only 90.
I just don't
Only
even know
night.
what those things mean. Let's see if it's got legs. Let's see how long it lasts in the theater.
Does anybody off the top of your heads know what's coming up next? The next big thing, what it's going to be, in this year?
Not sure.
Doomsday hits in December, right?
Doomsday, is that
Oh,
it? So
it's
is it going to be
September, Sorry, September is the end game.
It's going to be the end game re-release.
Now, what do you bet that does billions? Because it's required viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Because they're adding new stuff, right?
7 minutes of new footage.
And so this is where I begin to have a problem with everything that's going on right now.
I don't know why they didn't just. So here's the thing. I would accept that Endgame is going back to theaters if the 7 minutes of new footage is dropped on the home media release the same day. Give people a choice. Do I want to go to see Endgame in the theater again? By the way, I would see Endgame in the theater again. It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if I could consume it here and be just as informed, and my bathroom is right over there, and my not $40 popcorn and pop is over there, I would also stick it at home and watch it. Like, I would take that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have we heard anything about that?
I have
It's
not.
an alternate ending.
Theaters only?
Theaters only.
Okay.
A required
But
viewing. And
At the same time, I mean, this is kind of a fuck you Avatar, right? Because Avatar got
the blue avatars.
yeah. Because they got the, what was it, 20th anniversary re-release and bumped Endgame out of the front spot.
Oh,
they're just
is
gonna
that
turn around
Is that what we're doing?
It could be,
It's the war of the films.
basically, which is funny because it's Disney, right?
That's funny.
yeah.
And they're all, the shareholders are laughing. They're the ones who are winning.
Oh, yeah. All the
They're
way.
the
We
ones who
better
are
make all the money before Paramount puts a monopoly on the other side.
So before we crack on with Spider-Man, they just set the trial date, and it's for much later than they were hoping. It's going to be in 27,
Right.
which is a bit of a because there's a certain day this year where who's buying? Paramount's buying Warner.
Believe so.
Right.
They have to pay. It's something like $1 million a day until like
Every day they don't fully
Yeah.
go through with it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not good for them.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is the fourth. This is the fourth Tom Holland movie. Let's go initial impressions. We'll go around the room. Andy.
Loved it.
Loved it. Okay. I'm going to go next just because I want to save the flair for for last. I liked Spider-Man Brand New Day. I didn't like it as much as maybe I liked, what was the name of the last one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. I will say this, Brand New Day, most emotionally mature Spider-Man we've seen maybe ever. Hank, go.
6 out of 10.
Okay.
The acting was excellent. So I had no problems with any of that. The effects were excellent for the most part. Some of the CG was dodgy, but I think that we're getting into this era of just like banging CG. What I appreciated a lot about this movie was a lot of the practical stuff. I did enjoy a lot of the practical stuff.
I mean, if marketing was anything, it showed us quite a bit of what was going on there.
Like the
same
entire
thing I
tank battle or
absolutely-
tank chase.
I liked it a lot more in this, but the same thing I despised about the Fantastic Four, I didn't like about the beginning of the movie, and that's the montage of stuff that they were just like
The montage,
the montage of stuff, and it didn't land for me. It didn't like. It was cool. There's a comic cover. There's a comic cover. There's a comic cover. You're paying to me. I get it. I've read those comics. Yay.
All right, all right.
But when that's organic, when we're watching Mando and there's a friggin' rare like Amidala's helmet or a Naboo
in the
princess
background.
helmet is in the background. That's
Sure.
like it's less clubbing me over the head. And the fact that they went on a media run and went, we're going to do this. Guys, look for this. There's the McFarlane pose. Remember to look for the McFarlane pose. They showed us all of those things.
I'm surprised that you led with that because the last thing I said to Andy before the show tonight, before you arrived here at the studio, was, "Are we going to talk about the montage?" Because we've got slides for this.
We do.
Let's
Do it.
flip over to the slides. Do
We
you
have
know,
slides
Andy,
because they showed us the whole montage in every trailer.
do you know off the top of your head where they are?
Yeah, right.
Am I in the right spot?
Number 13, I believe. Is the first
13.
one.
Okay, so 13.
Members of Montage.
Okay, so the thing that I wanted to talk about the montage, and I thought this was funny, because we are also toy guys.
Yes.
normally we have an interesting opinion. It might just be a throwaway, haha, they did it again. But movies have been getting spoiled by toys for decades now.
Especially Lego.
What I found interesting, what did you guys think about the subversion of the toy marketing on this one? Because I kind of thought these villains, now there's the one villain that actually got more than just a cameo, Scorpion.
Yeah, played by Michael Mando there.
But what did you guys think that all these villains that basically were spoiled in the toys, did it make you think that all these guys are going to be a much larger part of the movie?
Well, I mean, watching the trailer, I thought they would be.
Me too.
Yes.
But
Yes. Short answer is yes. I thought that Tarantula and
Boomerang.
not even Boomerang, the other guy, the guy with the ram head or whatever it is, like the guy that
Ramrod.
he's been in one Spider-Man comic in ever, and it was in the 70s.
Ramrod.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be
Not up
just
that
like,
slide.
in the background, or we're going to flip through things. But I honestly thought that
There he is.
there he is. I thought Tombstone would have a bit more to do with it. I really thought we were going to get what they told us we were going to get, which was ground level Spidey.
Yeah.
And I got to preface this with, I don't like any of the new Spideys in terms of, and it's got nothing to do, like, I love the character. Oh my God, I love the character so much.
Yeah.
It's that some of the things that make Spider-Man, in my opinion, it's just an opinion too, right? And everybody in the chat, Nate, you can tell me I'm wrong, and I don't mind.
He
Like,
can't.
I
He's
love
gone.
that
He
debate.
left.
Is he gone? Is he gone? Okay.
Yeah, he left.
And that's like Peter has this communication with himself in his head. No movie has got this right yet, and that's like that's the thought bubbles that are in every. We've all read the Spider-Man comics, and Peter's introspection is the best thing about the character, and so we can see him brood, and we can see him happy, and we can see him nervous, and but there's got to be a way to portray that. That voiceover that he does. And so what I think they've done is
the internal monologue.
The internal monologue has been outsourced to this Tony Stark AI voice. And I just hate that about this iteration of Spider-Man. I hate it. He's never been on his own, not even once.
Yeah.
Not for a second. I shouldn't say that. When he had the ski goggles on and like, in the first 20 minutes.
The homemade suit.
Right, the homemade suit.
All right, so
Crazy.
the AI in this movie, its name is Eve.
Evie.
Right.
Evie.
Yes.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I have some questions about Evie.
A lot of questions about
So
this.
one thing I thought was, okay, that's the final connective tissue as we say goodbye to the Stark era where he's, still benefiting from Stark tech. Is this AI a creation of Peter's by himself?
I think it might be.
That's what I think too. That's what I thought too.
Where's Peter work?
He doesn't.
No, yeah. Yeah, weird. My favorite
Why does he
thing
have
about
money?
Peter
How does he
Parker is
live
that
in
he's struggling and he's broke.
Yeah.
He could buy flowers every day. Have you bought flowers lately, boys?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I have. And yes, you are correct. Listen, I
thought
will
we were
not
gonna get
take
Peter
any
in
of that away
college.
from you.
I thought we were going to get Peter dating the Black Cat. I thought, like,
That would have been
I know that he loves MJ, and I know that, like, the love's true kiss. We're gonna Princess Bride this sucker, but I get it. But Peter moves on in the comics. He comes back, but he moves on in the comics.
Sure.
And 4 years is a long effing time.
Yeah.
I've been hung up on chicks. I've been, I'm not the best. I've been with the same girl now 24 years, I think. But in the past, I've been hung up on chicks, but never for 4 years. And
That's another thing that the montage covered. Not just the villains, but like
the
had
kids'
time.
his
yeah,
friends
we had
too.
little milestones about, this year, graduating this year or second year.
First day at MIT.
Yeah.
Now we're
And the real
graduating.
problem with the montage that I had, and I'm going to come off the rails all kinds, so just wrangle me, boys.
No, boy,
is
go
that
for it.
We went from montage to cold open.
Yeah.
And the cold open was good, but pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one. This movie was
Yeah.
already almost an hour too long.
I will say this, Act 1, that's my biggest criticism, is it is slow to get moving. Some would argue that is breathing room. I can't really take that away from anybody who feels that way.
No.
I would have preferred a little faster pacing in the first act.
Yeah.
We did get there, and it was great by the end, but there was some getting there. On the subject of Peter's space, clearly he went out of his way to find a space that nobody used.
Yep.
So maybe, I don't know, is there some kind of like
Rent discount?
is there some money left over from the Stark? Now he was going on what? He was going on an internship, so that's probably unpaid.
Yeah, Peter Parker though. Peter Parker doesn't exist. He doesn't have a bank
that's
account.
true. That is true.
He doesn't have a social insurance number.
Well, then that would suggest to me that the AI is definitely Peter built.
Yeah. And, I mean, he tells Tony. Remember in the first movie, he's got like a floppy drive and shit, and
Yeah.
like a Neo computer with green text, like a Bic 20.
Yeah.
Down in the
And he
dumpster.
says, "I'm a dumpster diver." So he's dumpster diving for things that, like, he's got a 3D printer that's sewing Spider-Man costumes.
It's
Drives me
repairing
crazy.
the suit from last night's
Drives
dance.
me-
From
This part
Whatever
drives
happened
me
on
crazy.
Staten Island.
you know what
I just want to see him in the gutter because that's where he shines.
But there's a part of me, I can't even show you. It's too bad. There's a part of me that is totally accepting of this. And I'm glad we're staying on this apartment scene, because you know what this reminds me of, and it makes me giggle, is the fucking folding walls in Peter's bedroom in Amazing Friends.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His
Where he's
bedroom
got-
turns
yeah, he
into a
does have crazy
headquarters.
tech in that. That's
Right? So like
yeah.
this to me, like, and I don't think they were going for that intentionally, but like that's the chord that it struck for me. And as difficult as it is to accept that Peter's like supposed to be a struggling dude, I was kind of tickled at this for that
This
reason.
makes him feel a bit too Batman for me. Like I got infinite resources.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't need a job.
But
I'm
I
talking
do
to
like-
Commissioner Gordon on the phone.
I mean, he's not talking. He's talking to the AI. So let's put it
he's
aside.
talking
This
to
is
Gene
not.
DeWolf on the phone all the time.
That's
Talking to Commissioner
true.
Gordon.
That's
And
true, but
they're
it's
sort of
it's a
in the
different.
comics. Yeah, go.
I don't know. I feel like it's different than Batman. It's like, he's more listening to the police scanner than calling her. Hey, do you want me to show up?
No, 100%, 100%. They,
I
they
think-
do bump up. They have a relationship where they bump off.
Yeah. And I'm not versed enough in the comics to understand that. Andy, you said that relationship is pretty close.
Yeah.
She-
She's like a replacement for George Stacy.
Yeah.
Except they're more the same age in the comics, and while he's under mind control at one point, she confesses her undying love to him, but then he can't remember that because he was being mind controlled by a villain at the time. But I really like the actress in this. She did a really good job. I really like that connection with the city. That's the stuff I was hoping that would ground him. That's a great pull for a Spider-Man character.
Sure.
And we'll get more into why I think they're not doing that great with their pulls from Spider-Man, because where are the legacy villains?
Well, I mean, they were there. They were in the montage.
Yeah.
No, but those aren't and here's the issue is the greatest villain. Okay, everybody's going to say Doom because Doom's on everybody's mind and stuff, but the greatest villain, maybe Joker, but the Green Goblin has, like, when you look at what the Green Goblin did to Spider-Man over the course of like 50 years with like stealing the baby and and cloning Aunt May and like all like the crazy things, it's a thing that's missing from the Tom Holland movies, and I know why it's missing because we've done it to death in the other movies. It's a real problem.
I don't even think it's necessarily that. You're dovetailing into a great point that I was thinking about this, not just today, but getting ready for tonight. And it's like, we always reference the comic books because it's always an adaptation of.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the Green Goblin, and Andy, you and I even talked about that because you had a similar thing, like about not having him. I'm like, we kind of already did when we brought the Willem Dafoe version over.
There is
So
no
it's
MCU
like,
Green Goblin though.
do you? I get that, but do you want to go two movies back to back from? Like, I feel like, and this is me going back to, we're making a movie that we want to get everybody out for.
Yep.
Do we want to do that back to back?
No, I get that, but are you good? I hope they got the legs to pull something
Yeah.
long term.
No, I'm with you.
I started thinking about it like this. I started like, okay, I'm bitching about this. I shouldn't be. Only people that aren't creative bitch. right? You know, so I started like, what would I do? Honestly, what would I do? And I didn't write 3 screenplays, or what would I do for a Spider-Man trilogy? And I have to admit that I would do something like call the first one Spider-Man 1963, and
Yep.
literally do a period
Yep.
piece.
Okay.
You know, and then the
I
second
mean,
one would
you've
be
got
like,
Spider Noir.
yeah, and then do Spider-Man 1973 would be the second one, and like let's kill Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Let's actually kill the Green Goblin. Let's see that story, the greatest Spider-Man story ever told, and then we can do things with legacy villains like the Jackal and the first Clone Saga, which was wicked before they blew it all to hell. And then you get the Hobgoblin, and why we haven't had an iteration of the Hobgoblin, I think we're trying to push Ned towards that. But
That's the one thing
really
I hope
we
they
get
don't do.
fucking 6 or 7 movies then, because. But that's the trilogy. You know what I mean? 1963, 73, 83, and those 3 villains.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you.
I think, this is broad strokes we're talking here. This is broad strokes. I don't think we're going to get there.
No.
I genuinely don't think we're going to get there at all,
No.
ever.
No.
And I maybe not ever, but like
No.
in this, what are we, phase 6? What is this? Six?
Maybe.
Phase 6?
Yeah.
What's the end of phase 6? Is it Doomsday?
I think it might be.
So
I think
we know
started
that
moving away from the phases, like they've started moving away from phase talk.
we
The
know
thing
that.
I've heard is that
Yep.
Secret War will be a reset, so everything will be just like
Right.
streamlined moving forward.
Peter's not in Doomsday.
Yet.
Peter's not in Doomsday. He's confirmed. His next confirmed appearance is Secret Wars, and they're really talking about how they already know, they've been working on it for a while now, the metaphorical handoff to the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I feel like, from their storytelling perspective, it neatly wraps up the Peter Parker stuff without having to do that stuff by just going, okay, it's Miles Morales now, and we can go right into his cast of rogues.
Well, so here's how it kind of went down in the comics, right? You remember the Ultimate Universe? Andy, totally, right?
Yeah.
The first Ultimate Universe?
The Ultimate Universe. Where
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
Which
what
is
the
why we got our Nick Fury, Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Which is what the MCU is built off of, essentially. Like we're not as gritty. Like, we don't have a rapey Hulk, and we don't have Captain America that kills.
Or
But
Blob eating the Wasp.
right,
What's that?
right.
The Blob eating
The
Wasp.
The Blob
yeah.
ate the Wasp, yeah. But that's where we are. So what happens with in that universe, which they let run parallel, so we were able to choose which kind of Avengers tale we wanted to read, during that period.
Yeah.
They killed off Peter Parker and brought in Miles Morales to fill the role, and as a sort of an experiment just to see what would happen. And then what Civil War, spoilers, if you guys are watching and you haven't read any of the comics, what Secret Wars, the second one, does, what Doom does, and what's going to happen probably in 2 movies from now is that he brings superheroes from all the different dimensions. And
I was just saying to Andy,
yeah,
if you've watched the Doomsday trailer,
yeah.
you can see when they're standing on the Fantastic Four ship, you can see the 3 planets, the 3 Earths on the screen in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is plucked directly from the Incursion line.
Yeah.
Where at first they tried to use the Infinity Gauntlet to stop it, and
Yes.
then they couldn't. And eventually everything just smashed together, and Doom stitched together what was left
Right.
Yeah.
with the help of the Molecule Man.
Which is probably, sort of, maybe what's going to happen
It's
in this
gonna
one.
be-
Yeah, we'll be hitting all those sort of marks, and with it, with their flair on it. But so the idea is that in that Secret Wars there are both iterations of Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then when it's over and the universe returns to one Marvel universe,
Yep.
both Peter and Miles survive.
They're
Marvel Spider-Man in the world. So that probably means recasting Peter. Are we gonna comic book though? Are we gonna Batman, or like are we gonna have
I'm
a
almost
50-year-old
certainly
Batman one day? Or
almost certainly we're going
Right.
to take the Batman James Bond approach. We're going to give you a new actor. If anything, our mystery character has already told us that.
Yeah.
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 there's a few. I don't know if you've seen the posters. I did a couple deep dives after I saw the movie, and I was looking at some of the things that they leaked in posters, and I wasn't able to be clear whether they were fan made or official or not. So
It's
don't-
getting hard to tell.
it's getting hard to tell. But there's one of Spidey leaping off a building. You can see the bottom of both feet, and on one
Okay.
is it's like a
Business card for Nelson Murdoch.
Nelson
you saw it
Murdoch
with some
on
bubble
gum.
gum.
And then on the other foot is clearly like Venom stuff.
Some
Goo.
symbiote
And
goo.
then on the
the top of the girder,
top of the girder,
because you see the pattern on the bottom of Spider-Man's
Yeah.
shoes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's not his.
It's an Air Jordan, which I own. It's an Air Jordan, which Miles Morales
Right.
wears in the
Yeah, that's right.
in the
Those are it's his
multiverse
footwear.
cartoons, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, and you know what? I wouldn't. I've seen lots of interviews in the last 3 days with Tom Holland and a lot of the other cast, and they shot a ton of stuff that they didn't use. They made 5-6 movies and just picked the one that worked the best.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's Miles Morales stuff on the cutting floor. I wouldn't be surprised if there's symbiote stuff on the
I
cutting
mean,
floor.
all of
And I know for a
the
fact that there's Man Spider stuff on the cutting room floor.
all of the media outlets that like to like chew on this stuff like we do are already talking about it. And there's the little kid at the end on the guy's shoulders with the like, oh, is that our Miles Morales? But then there's also an argument for Spider-Man saving the kid on the street on the scooter, the teenager, where like I've seen the guys from New Rockstars like did the breakdown how it's just like when Tony Stark patted the little kid that they retconned into Peter on the head.
Yeah.
And then Peter does the same thing to this scooter kid who looks like he's could be mixed Latino.
The little blonde kid in the second Batman movie we were all convinced was going to be Robin. in
That's
the 80s.
Robin. That's Robin.
They're going to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And that's a thing. Sorry, Andy, you go ahead.
There is a time jump though, because Miles exists in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
Uncle Aaron Davis is like, I got a nephew here. I want to keep him safe.
Miles' existence doesn't confirm any kind of like, but how old is he?
True.
Yeah, so who knows? That kind of brings me to talking about how this stuff is going to work. The one thing that, and I don't know if this works to their advantage or not, is like you go to adapt these stories. We have such an interconnected universe at this point. We have to be holden to what this, and I'm speaking from the perspective of like the Feiges of the world.
Yeah.
I am beholden to what's come before this, not the comic books, but the movie stories we've told.
Absolutely. We have to stay. Peter has to have. these
Yeah.
up. We have to be, that's one thing I'm never going to recover from that. So I'm going to enjoy them for what they are, but I'm never going to love them the way I feel like that second Andrew Garfield movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it gets better than that. I really don't.
I do like
for
the
me,
Garfield
anyway.
movies. Yeah. Love the Garfield movies.
And for what it's worth, and you guys, maybe a joke, but I even said it to Lauren.
Yep.
I think Tom Holland's best performance of as Spider-Man was this movie, because I think he does his best Andrew Garfield impression in this movie.
Nice.
I didn't hear any Brooklyn accent in those
Nice.
first 7 appearances but
It's funny that I heard that too.
Yep, he's doing.
I
And I don't
heard
know if
that,
that's
yeah.
on purpose to bring the 3 Peters together, because he also seemed to me to have a little bit of Tobey Maguire's physical mannerisms. And I don't know if that was on purpose or not. I've seen it twice, and I maybe that's him as an acting homage. I don't know.
I will say this. I heard it. I didn't comment on it before
No.
now,
No.
but I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was just enough Brooklyn in there.
Which
liked
is
it.
which is what I thought Andrew Garfield did wicked, because you go, I never thought about every time you've ever heard Spider-Man, he's a kid from Queens. Of course he's going to talk
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Loved it. Where do we want to go next?
I don't know.
What do you want to do? Do you want to hit these sort of in order and then
Did
just
you guys
see what it
did
sparks?
you guys both want to buy Samsung Galaxy 300 flip phones when you
Flip
walked into that
phones?
movie?
Hell no, brother. Pixel for life. Pixel for life.
There was some pretty gratuitous, like he's holding one in that picture.
I mean,
You
but
just-
that's every movie.
I didn't know.
That's every
I mean,
movie.
I really noticed the Air Force stuff in Iron Man 1, but I didn't notice it so
Oh
much
my gosh, yeah.
as this movie in other movies. But
Yeah. Peter, Spider-Man, obviously played by Tom Holland. Tom Holland says, now this isn't for Spider-Man, but it does tie in nicely to Spider-Man. He said for the Odyssey, this is the last movie where I'll be able to play a boy.
yeah,
And of course, in this movie, in Spider-Man, this is the not only the the literal, the metaphoric, the metaphysical, and the literal transition from boyhood to manhood.
Yeah. I'm not in high school anymore.
Yeah. But he's officially a dude.
He's a Spider-Man.
He's a dude now.
He's
Speaking
a
of
real
Spider-Man, now is that the scene is that in Frank's?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Where-
that's
where
the
the-
ship's propeller.
Is that what that is?
Is that that's what I think it is.
I believe so.
It's about time we saw Spider-Man using Spider-Man level strength. Yes, he stopped a
Yes.
car and Toby stopped a train, which was very impressive. But like for this guy to pick up a ship's propeller and whoop and toss it like a frisbee,
Yeah.
was right on for that.
He does a little more of that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though that they sort of attribute that to the metamorphosis. Although I guess he's wearing the thing at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, he's wearing the inhibitor.
So we know what that means, right? We know why they're leaning into that, because we're going to lean into the Peter Parker as a mutant angle.
Yeah, we know that, but I mean, we also know that Marvel acknowledges
Marvel's-
that there are different
yeah.
kinds of mutants.
So Marvel's like that's the recent take on his powers in the comics. We're not. I mean, it's been a couple decades now, I guess, in comics. But
Well,
So
what
I
do they
think
used to
we're
call
really
it in the
good-
Marvel universe? Induced mutant.
well, it's like they say like that spider bites anybody else, nothing happens.
Oh, right. It had to be him.
It that was his mutation, but that was the catalyst. It wasn't brought on by puberty like a regular mutation. It was something like But
Yeah.
So they attribute
The same
it-
thing with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
It's
but
the
they don't-
cosmic radiation.
But they don't ever classify them as mutants for whatever reason. But they
Strange.
they fully classify Peter as a mutant in the MC. In
Interesting.
The Marvel, in the comics. So
I just
think
remember
that's
them-
and that's why we brought Jean Grey in. I think we're gonna have that.
What? What did you just say?
Oh
Who?
my! Oh my!
Spoiler.
Spoilers. I think that's what I think they're going to tie Spider-Man heavily into the X-Men.
I think that they just, that's tough. I'm not even sure where to go with that. Subvert Me in a good way. Having Jean Grey as your villain was interesting. I don't know if I actually could have seen that coming. I certainly didn't predict it. I don't know if I
Well,
would have made that choice creatively, but I didn't not appreciate it. I liked it.
I think that all that anybody was talking about was that, and I kind of backed that up by saying like that's what we talked about in the chat. It was one of the only things we talked
Yeah.
about
Well,
this movie was like who's she going to be?
Who's she going to be?
And do you notice all the press was that?
Well, that was the prevailing theory since the movie was taught, like since her name came up that she's in the movie.
I
Yeah.
feel like they were just holding her up front to deflect from like some stuff. Like, and the movie was, I was expecting, oh shit, this might be super bad. They're holding her up like a human shield in front of this. So it wasn't that, but you're right. It's an interesting choice. And
As a matter of fact, this is a funny, so this is a little anecdote. Andy and I are on our way to the theater on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And Andy, what did you say to me?
I hope.
I hope it's not Jean Grey. And then and I said, we got to talking about why it doesn't work, and then I threw out this why it might work, and I'd said something to the effect, it's after her parents say get the fuck out. And you were like, oh, that actually could work if she's just on her own,
Yeah.
which is what they did. Only instead of being, post parents, it's go find my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that. I thought it was kind of a cool. Of course, she's an angsty. I wouldn't say she's angsty. She's a very pissed off teenager who is very focused, singular purpose to get her sister back.
yeah.
Of course, she does some diabolical shit.
Yeah, she kills people. Do you guys agree that she kills people?
Yeah.
I saw her kill people in that movie.
I'm trying to think.
And-
Was there an overt kill?
So there's one that's on there's one that's on camera, like it's like a security camera where the two cops shoot each other. and then
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
walks-
Okay,
like,
okay.
whoever
So
she's
she
controlling
doesn't.
walks-
She doesn't physically pull the trigger, but mentally
Well,
she
that's
did.
yeah. I mean,
Right.
she just
The
she
old-
brain
you tell me
she
that guy
brain
in the-
them.
The guy in the high res vest that gets mowed over
Yeah.
by that cab lived.
Oh, that's true. That's
But
true.
then she's like, "You're a murderer, and I'll kill everybody within 100 kilometers of this thing if you or whatever."
That is true.
right? Like, that's a little strange. Are we? So
I mean-
are we foreshadowing that
The Dark Phoenix.
the Phoenix Edge, maybe.
I mean, that's a long ways off, but it's not impossible.
It's not
but
impossible.
it does pave inroads for Charles Xavier's school and for what Charles can do for her. And I
where the
feel
bus
like
was going.
yeah, of course
where
it
the bus
was.
was going.
Of course it was going. There's only one reason why we see trees leaving New York City.
Right.
She's going north up into the country.
And it's the autumn. It's school starting in
Going
the
to,
autumn.
yeah, exactly. We're going to Connecticut.
Okay, and then here's maybe my biggest problem with this movie, and probably
All right.
my biggest problem with every MCU movie after Endgame,
Sure.
is that we spend over half of it setting up what comes next.
Well, I didn't think we did that. I felt I was very much in Peter's story.
But it's like we're introducing things that don't really like.
If
Well, maybe
so, let
they're
me.
going to make it. Maybe they're going to make it more like him tighter with the mutants and stuff. It just felt like
Maybe.
I wasn't sure. Like the Hulk stuff was like so.
This
I
actually
wrote
feels
this-
better to me. Let me ask a question, Hank.
Yeah.
Would you have preferred it this way, or would you have preferred it the way we've gotten it for 20 some odd films?
Yeah.
Where it's one to three post-credit scenes for the setup? This feels way more organic than a post-credit scene at the end, which is just a what was that?
Yeah, but see, that didn't distract me. The whole time I was
That's
watching
true.
this movie,
That's true.
I was waiting to see who she was going to be.
Sure.
So I spent the first time I watched the movie, I spent the whole first half of the movie not really paying attention, going, okay, I want to know the mystery.
Yeah. I think we all wanted that though on some
Yeah.
level.
It just feel, and then we knew what the answer was. Like in our hearts, we knew, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
we
know?
knew,
Like,
yeah.
we knew. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't land. It wasn't. I wanted
fact
to
that
be
they-
subverted. I wanted.
They gave us the reveal in text before we actually saw her.
Yeah.
Jean Grey.
I would say there's enough subversion in this. Like the whole VMAX thing, that was a nice swerve.
Really?
Were you? Yeah, because you were like
convinced,
Venom,
like, okay,
Venom,
Venom's in
Venom,
that vault.
Venom?
Venom's in there. Let's get him out. But no, it's a vent.
AC
Vent.
Yeah.
Vent.
That's
That was a very cool subversion, but it played nicely into her her arc. Like she was singular of purpose to get her sister back. Comes to the conclusion that she died in that room.
Staring at that VMAX.
Oh, like I felt for her in that moment. I'm like, oh, I hate you done fucked up now. Like of course she was, and I said that to Andy on the way out. I love the fact that yes, she already was a mutant and she already had a power, the brain jumping thing.
Yeah.
But to see her, and this is something that I kind of tip my hat to the writers, to give her an on-screen trauma to like push her power to the next level.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. And well, Peter had that too, except Peter's wasn't, being blipped for 5 years or watching, Thanos
Yeah.
crush Thor's head or his aunt die at nearly his own hands. It was somebody inhabiting his girlfriend getting mad at him.
Yeah.
That was enough to push him to Anakin choke her and hold her over a cliff, that didn't make any sense to me at all, like at all.
Really?
Just at all.
Well, they kind of like hint that it's not her in control when they're swinging, though, right?
Yeah, I also
Because like during Far From Home, when they're swinging, she's like, "I am never doing that again."
Right.
She
Right.
yeah, there's a
freaked the hell
couple
out.
times. Yeah, well, when he first comes into the apartment, it's like, "Take me with you," and then that's just before Frank's, I think, right at the sign. Isn't that the same
Yeah.
sign from Madam Web? I read that somewhere too.
The silver cup sign?
Yeah.
We got to the building with the silver cup sign, and I turned to Kim and I said, "There can be only one."
Yeah, right.
That's what I said to her.
Yeah.
She got it. She thought it was funny.
And I think like the reason that the third act was like, I just felt like emotional whiplash from it because we had like 5 different villains with no resolution. We went from like Sadie Sink's character was the villain temporarily, and then
Yep.
we were like, oh no, she's not really the villain. It's
Guy
damage
from
control.
Department of Damage Control.
Wait,
yeah.
it's the Hulk. The Hulk's the villain now for a second. No, it's not really the Hulk. It's Sadie Sink again, but now for a different reason. And then
I
it's
like
the
the
Punisher
way.
for 5 seconds, and then I just felt like we're just like, whoa, slow down. It just felt very like clunkily edited to me.
Oh man, I didn't have a problem with that stuff. I didn't. And I actually thought it was clever. Like, and as soon as you heard the banging, you knew, oh, she got Banner.
Yeah.
And
How?
she's using the Hulk to break in.
I mean,
But it was
besides
nice
like,
that
it was
he
in
was
this-
still Professor.
What's that?
He was still Professor Hulk
Professor
when
Hulk.
she was
Oh, yeah.
driving.
Yeah,
Because-
because
But once,
Banner's
She
inhibitor
got it.
only inhibits the Hulk. It
Yeah.
doesn't inhibit anything else.
yeah,
but beyond
so
the
she-
fact
that
that
was
it
all
was in the
gone.
script,
Well,
how did she find Banner?
Bruce Banner is publicly the Hulk to everybody
Yeah, but so
and
why did
Peter
she
had
pick
come
him?
into contact
It's
with
just
because
yeah,
he
she
couldn't
tracked him through
break
Peter.
down the vault.
They had met at that point. I guess they had. Yeah, because
Because he could
the inhibitor.
rip the vault open.
The,
and
the
that's what she
inhibitor
needed?
that Tobey Maguire invented in the first movie, right? That's the one we're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just making sure.
Wasn't it
Yes,
Doc
that one.
Ock that invented that?
Oh yeah, it was Doc
that's what
Ock.
he
Yeah,
did.
that's right. It was
absolutely.
Doc
You're
Ock.
right. You're right. But we
was,
used it
it was.
last. It's so. And
Yeah.
so I have no problem with Peter going and reaching out to Bruce Banner and pretending
Yeah.
to be Ned Leeds and wearing an ESU shirt. That's a nice pull like that. But there's no plot point for the Hulk to be there at all. There's like, he didn't need that info. Like he knew that the thing would work. He did. I'm not sure he was confirming.
I don't think it was that. I never took that as a. I mean,
saw
sure,
it
it's a
as-
nice way for them to talk to each other. I felt that was a way for them to remind us that Peter Parker is one of the MC or one of the Marvel Universe's genius level characters.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I feel that conversation was needed to get Banner's attention. Like, oh, this kid's really smart,
Yeah.
and I feel like that conversation served that.
It might have helped.
That's
him
what
remember.
I got from it.
So like, and it's in the MCU when this happens. I don't know if you've read the Brand New Day.
No,
Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
So the character that is the first person to remember Peter Parker in that comic is the Hulk.
Because Banner's
Yeah.
mind got wiped while he was Banner.
but not
Whereas
the
the
Hulk.
Hulk comes back, he's like, I know Bugman.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So that's a nice little like a draw there. But the problem is that the whole movie to me felt like a Marvel team up episode, a Marvel team up issue. Where this week he's teaming up with Jean Grey, and the next week he's going to team up with the
Punisher.
Hulk and
Listen,
then the Punisher, and then
I'm going to go back to the Amazing
And there's
Friends
nothing
thing that I
wrong with
said
that.
before. Yeah, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I collected Marvel 2-in-1 and Marvel Tales and Marvel Team Up. I collected them all, but none of them were the Amazing Spider-Man,
That's true.
right? Like it wasn't
That
the
is
main.
true.
It was like a. And since you mentioned the Punisher, I think we mentioned before because I was going to talk about it when Spidey threw the thing.
The ship's propeller.
Yeah. What Punisher was that? That was Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim, that's my older brother Jim. So I saw a wicked video of a kid who's
Yeah.
like, I just saw a Brand New Day, and I think he was acting. He's like, and it
Sure.
was the most amazing movie I've ever seen. The Punisher, man, I never watched that Disney stuff. I was like, I never watched that show, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the latest Punisher, and then the video of him watching it cuts to black and white, and he's like, oh my god, oh my god, like. Can you
You're in
imagine
for
a
a
kid
shock,
that
man.
actually watched that first and then went, "Oh, the Punisher was wicked," and then goes back and watches that
Yeah.
black and white 53-minute thing they just?
Oh, I
put out?
know. I know.
Well, it is a nice line from Sadie Sink when she does pop into his brain. She's like, "Oh, you are messed up in here, aren't you?"
I mean,
I just felt like he was way toned down. Like, I mean,
but
and I
they
guess you
did that.
have to.
They have to, and they did address it in the movie through dialogue. Like, we'll do it my way, or Peter telling him expressly, "No killing."
I guess he did
Right,
shoot
like-
him with a. Yeah, but it felt like
Shot him with
Terminator level, like-
shot him with a 50 caliber BMG,
he did shoot him with a 50.
BFG,
Yeah.
50 cal
Big,
BFG.
big fucking grenade.
Yeah.
And I guess the skull portion of it was partially due to something to go on with China. Like you're not allowed to show skulls in films over there, which is why you have
Oh.
all those little knives instead
I
of
saw
teeth.
that too. What are they
Okay,
gonna do
I
for
was
Ghost
fine
Rider?
with it. I was fine. I don't know. Oh, not show the
skin.
film. It'll just be a blurred out head.
Rider, Flamehead.
It'd be the
Vaseline on the screen.
headless rider. Wow.
But circling back to your setting up with this guy here, William Bill Metzger, played by Tremel.
Trammell Tillman as
Wicked. He was
Bill
wicked.
Metzger.
Yeah.
But that is a huge setup for X-Men, right? Because he is in the comics anti-mutant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So him experimenting on mutants
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the perfect stepping
just-
stone
Yeah.
to him taking up like a Graydon Creed or something role in the future.
The irony here too is going to become like later down the line if we get the payoff is that Peter invented the tech that they're going to use as mutant
stop.
suppression collars
Yeah.
for
Right.
like Geonosis or whatever. Yeah, so that's
You mean Genosha?
Or what did I say? Geonosis?
Geonosis.
Who knows where I am?
We're going. Yeah.
I found
In a
some weed I
galaxy
can handle.
far, far away.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's definitely interesting, and that's what I like. When we were talking about before, I feel like I enjoyed it better when there's like I got this whole movie and then a scene at the very end that tells me, oh, something else extra cool is coming. So I can I just feel like everything's been like laboring to set up the next thing and losing itself in that. This is not as bad as some for sure. This is not Eternals. This is not setting up stuff that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I liked Eternals too, which is that's a divisive topic too. I liked it. I will say I did prefer. I preferred that it felt more organic. The only thing, and it's the running joke now, is like what happened on Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to know that story.
Yeah. It's the what did they say in the interview? It's their I can't remember. The Avengers have this where they talk about something off camera that happened. I can't remember.
I don't know. Shawarma.
It's great though. I like that a lot. I did like that. I did enjoy the banter. I thought Frank was like very different than we've ever seen him before. Like almost
So
like a different iteration of the Punisher. But I really did like the banter. It was probably the best, the buddy cop stuff.
I did like that, and I did like their on-screen bromance. It wasn't really a bromance, but it kind of turns into that. Oh, we're friends now. I like that.
Yeah.
One of the criticisms that I've sort of been reading about: how did Frank Castle, a wanted criminal, just sit there in the hospital
With nobody
noticing
Because she had control of everybody's minds involved,
while he was recovering?
I would think.
He did say,
So
Red's been keeping you held together.
so they filmed
Oh,
scenes
that's
with
true.
Rosario Dawson, right?
That's true.
And they were
as
cut.
a night nurse. Oh,
Yeah, and they
okay.
were cut. So there's that.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would, and make more sense. And to me, it would make more sense if in that moment, and therefore the whole rest of the movie.
yeah.
I know Daredevil's not going to shoot him, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had 50 villains in here anyway. You could have had both Daredevil. I thought Daredevil would be a better fit for the mentor role.
We all went through that marketing, through that trailer, and of course that one poster with all the hand ninjas, and you're like,
He's in some
Daredevil's
sort of
in there
prison.
somewhere, right?
Do not get me started on what the fuck the Hand was doing in that movie.
Oh, I know. They were just angsty teenagers that needed a talking to.
Yeah.
Aren't those the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? The foot? Didn't he bite? I don't. There was a lot of gratuitous stuff there, but that one was like, oh, we got to bring it. That's a callback from the first act. We need this to pay off.
I guess.
It was. I don't know. That one was a little strange for me because it was like the largest action piece, and you could see
Yeah.
that Daniel Creston was, like that was like that. What am I trying to say? That's straight out of Shang-Chi. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And I don't think any of his action pieces were as good as the Shang-Chi bus fight.
Oh, that bus fight's really good.
I found that Peter swung out of frame a lot in this, and I kind of know why because they wanted to feel more like, jarring. But I also know that in an interview with him, I saw that, like where they had Sony PS5 animators working on the swing mechanics and the fight mechanics. So we basically were watching a video game for a lot of that stuff.
But I mean, that's
is
been
okay.
That's movie making for a while now.
Yeah,
though.
that's very true. Like the Unreal Engine being used a lot.
When you can render through Unreal in real time,
Yeah.
why would excuse me? Why wouldn't you?
I still don't think I've ever seen Spider-Man move like so. A lot of it, like it's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Like 6, 7 out of 10. Like don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Spider-Man move to my satisfaction, except for the opening of Amazing Spider-Man 2. That opening montage of him swinging.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The 3D was good on this one for swinging. Like,
You know what I didn't do this time? I didn't do the lift test. I didn't do the lift test. I always do the lift test. Lift my glasses. How flat is it? And I didn't do it this time, so I can't even talk about the 3D. I will say this. Clearly, I noticed it about as much as I notice it in any other movie, which means I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
So either it's really, really good or it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
There was no moment of 3D where I went, wow.
Yeah, yeah. That's, yeah. I don't think we're going to get that, like, jumping right the heck at, unless we go back to the black and white monochrome, you know, like
Red and blue.
red and blue, when it, like, you would literally spill your popcorn because it was like, guy threw an axe at your head. That stuff was wicked.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Are we good on the Punisher now?
I think so.
All right, well let's go on to the next
He's
thing.
a
that
fantastic
we can,
actor. I'll tell you
well,
what.
he definitely
Let
is.
me tell you something. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what.
I've seen that clip.
You see that clip?
I've seen that clip.
I'm going to talk to you. Let me tell you something right now. I'll tell you what.
Zendaya's back as MJ. What do we think of MJ in this movie?
She had 13 minutes of screen time, and she really was the emotional anchor, if you ask me.
I think that it was an interesting take on the character. One, I didn't see her getting mind essayed by Jean Grey, which was kind of cool. So that was like, oh no, when they finally dropped that. Oh, that's not really her. And the fact that she had zero recollection of Peter, and like you say, we're gonna magic kiss this, and then they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt for Peter so bad.
But
So bad.
There's got to be something in there, though, because she's still holding on to that Black Dahlia necklace.
That's true.
So she's like, she knows she's got a blank spot in there.
Well,
I actually hoped.
that scene where she's fingering it, right? Where we're reminded
At
that
the
she
end
has
where
it.
she's sitting up on the thing. Right?
She already knows. Like Jean Grey has restored her memory or whatever in that.
So that was the one thing I said this to Andy, and I said to Kim, I'm like, I wish they'd been, because it's really not. It's left for you to decide.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
We get the best friend, boop, boop, fist bump, boop, handshake, and Ned, Peter.
Yeah.
Now, am I supposed to believe that Ned's the muscle memory of the handshake was enough to shake the fog off?
Oh, what was the one with?
I want to believe. I do want to believe as a parting gift when she's up on the bus.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that the spell erased their memory. I would prefer to believe that it's blocked the memory, and now Jean Grey as a parting gift has unlocked the memory, and they can remember him.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
It would. Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works, because if it's a spell,
Right.
and she has the mental ability to clear it. But there's a scene that I was reminded of watching a whole bunch of different people talk about the movies and stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if it's the Doctor Strange movie with that's Spider-Man heavy. You know that one?
Yeah, that one.
Far from home.
Yeah, it's in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's in Spider-Man. It's not in Doctor Strange.
Okay, so yeah. So and when Ned and him do the handshake, when Ned's got the sling ring on,
Yeah.
and then they do the there's a little electricity between them.
Right?
You remember?
From the sling ring.
Right. So it feels like not just everybody can wield it. They're setting something up, right? Not everybody can.
So
just wield
that's
a
the
sling
other
ring.
thing.
Like Ned
That's
has
the other
magic
thing.
abilities or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of thing. So I
Ned,
think,
without knowing what to do, was able to open a sling portal.
right.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that
is
there's
that-
something there, like between them, that little zzz and that,
So
the handshake
Ned's
and the-
Ned's potential as a sorcerer may be the insulator to the spell.
Maybe.
or
I'm
you know,
okay if that's the way they want to paint it, but
that's
it just
at least
you
that's
had
some
Jean
food for
Grey
thought.
in your hand.
Yeah.
Jean Grey is in your hand. She's right there. All she had to do was just give a little finger to temple and okay, I'm happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So because when we see MJ single tear, I think that's when she's frozen, but that's when she remembers everything. The
Yeah.
single tear.
Yeah.
But I have a few okay, she managed to pick the Hulk out of the lineup and possess him, but Spidey traps Jean Grey in the helicopter pilot,
Yeah.
and 5 seconds later she's already MJ.
Yeah.
It's like a huge plot hole.
I mean, 5 seconds on the screen, but I mean, it was definitely longer than that in travel time.
I don't look at it like a plot hole because as
Well, they
his sister
explained it 20
explains,
minutes later.
yeah, like, oh, you
But for
blank
20
out of
minutes
them,
of
you
the
just
movie,
show
I
up
couldn't
here.
pay attention to anything else.
Yeah.
Going, what the fuck? That was
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was poorly handled. I don't understand what's happening. And I was like fighting my own thoughts. And then later they explained it. I was like, could you have put those in a different order? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I mean by editing. Because that would have explained everything. You could have put
True.
that early on in the process. I know you're going for the emotional impact of it. The Hulk looked great. I don't know what he was doing there, but he looked great. That fight was kind of great.
Mark Ruffalo's back as the Hulk, and I mean, either you like him or you don't. And I know that Mark Ruffalo has been getting more attention in the news media because of his personal opinions than for his acting. I like him. I think he's a good Hulk. I think he's a pretty decent Banner. I don't know how many more of these he's got left in the tank. If they even want him for any more of them, who knows?
I feel like if he doesn't get a solo Hulk movie, he's been done dirty. Like he's probably one of my favorite things about the MCU.
Does anybody
realistically.
know where we're at with the Universal thing on that?
That they're not the only way they're ever going to do it is
Universal's got to make it, and they got to have basically a plain nice Sony deal like they got with Sony.
It's probably never going to happen, is what I'm hearing. Like they have the rights to put him in montage movies, and they have the rights to put him in bit roles. The only way to do it is to trick people, and to do like a Hulk and the Black Widow movie and make it like 90% Hulk.
I mean, like they did in Ragnarok. You do Ragnarok,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
is a Hulk story, a Hulk heavy story.
You think we're gonna lean right away from Scar from the She-Hulk the She-Hulk show?
I don't
Are we
know.
leaning way away from that shit or what?
Well, listen, let's go back to the end of Fantastic Four for a minute, because I know this is sort of Spider-Man adjacent, but Doomsday is coming, and we end the Fantastic Four with, by the way, might not have actually been Doom talking to Franklin.
It could have been one of his priestesses.
So we're looking at, it might have been one of the witches. Yeah.
It appears to be, yeah.
But they sort of have indicated that they're going after the kids,
Yes,
and I mean,
sure.
if there is one reason to get everybody and anybody together, it's you go after the kids. So, I mean, was Scar intended to be part of the Young Avengers thing that they may or may not have been trying to set up? I don't know. But if you go after him the same way you're going after all the other kids, it's another way to get the band
Bring
back
him
together.
back in,
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
Would Doom like to have a Hulk in his back pocket?
Oh, more than likely.
Who wouldn't want a Hulk in their back pocket? Oh, hey, it's Punisher again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who we got next year? Ned.
It's Ned.
CEO of sex.
It's not Jean Grey. Oh my God, Florence Pugh is Yelena Belova, Black Widow. What is going on with That's My Office? Why is she not working out of the tower with everybody else?
I don't even know what this scene was about. It was a comic relief. I don't understand. Spider-Man still got connection with the Avengers. I mean,
But it's like a whole new set of Avengers, right?
so the last I heard that he was the leader of the Avengers. Like, wasn't there like, I guess he gave up the Stark tech when he erased everybody's mind. Like he was the leader of the Avengers in the last movie.
I guess
like,
so. Congratulations, kid.
ostensibly-
You're an Avenger.
Well, but they were like, here's the glasses. You're the
You're the new Tony Stark.
You're
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
Tony Stark. You're the leader of the
Yeah.
Avengers. You're being groomed for this. I didn't like the feet floating up killed me. That was great. I did enjoy the feet floating up.
Or him walking out with the mask on and a towel.
Well, and like I think that's what it's for. I think that was to like I seen
was
the
cute.
interview where he's like I didn't drink water for 2 days, so I would look like that.
Oh,
Like,
cut. Nice and cut.
And
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
was like we got to show your.
So wait,
back
Hank, you
shop
saw
and-
this most recently.
Yeah.
What was the sensitive information that he went to Yelena for in the first place? Do you remember?
VMAX.
VMAX. What's VMAX?
VMAX.
Okay.
It's the name of Sadie Sink's character in Stranger Things.
Interesting.
Max.
True.
I couldn't remember what he actually went to her for in the first place.
Yeah,
To see
VMAX.
if it was the same mind control that was used in the Red Room. on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, right. To see if
that,
it was the
yeah,
same
that was
thing.
the main reason.
That's
and then
right,
he
right.
Yeah.
did ask her about VMAX as he was walking out the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she said it was more like possession. So she seems to have her thumb on the pulse
I
of what's
feel
going on.
you talked about it earlier about the salt and pepper cameos and like spending far too much time trying to set something up.
Yeah.
I feel that Yelena's distance from the Thunderbolt / New Avengers, that's more of a setup than maybe what we realize it is.
Mhm.
Why is she not with the rest of them?
She got sick of her dad.
Maybe she doesn't want to hang out with Bob anymore.
I mean,
Maybe.
is she here as an Avenger or is she here as Black Widow?
I don't know.
I
You know,
think it's
'cause, like,
both.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Is she still? I mean, is she still
Like, not part of that
technically a Black
organization,
Widow? That's what I mean. Yeah.
But I mean the role, you know, that the way she was portrayed, not this character, but the way
Super
that,
spy.
right, like singular, you know, she was involved with so many of the she had relationships with Frank, she had a relationship with Matt Murdock, she had
Yeah.
relationships
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like, for me, this
I
is
feel
the
like-
big one where it's like, I know I'm in the Marvel universe. I know there's an Avengers movie coming. I know
It would
there
be
is.
in her wheelhouse
Stop
to
hitting me
keep
with the head with it.
dossiers on all these people, right?
But it
Especially
makes
the ones
sense
that
why
are
she's
in and
at the
around New
premiere
York.
now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was spoiled, I guess, in
But
retrospect.
I could swear I remember some reporting like, oh, Florence Pugh's going to have a nude scene in one of the Marvel movies.
Well, this is obviously.
I mean, it is and it isn't.
I saw
You
the
see
behind the
nothing.
scenes of
It's
this.
very well done.
Well, they actually see that water CG blue, because I've seen the
Oh, yeah.
behind the scenes of this. And
Yeah,
it's like they're both. She's wearing a bra, right? There's a
yeah,
it's
of
crystal
course,
clear
of course.
hot tub.
Yep, yep.
So they've added some weird CGI blue to that.
Or we just put some milk in it.
Mhm.
So there was, refreshingly, there was none of the awkward comedy that I've come to dislike in these Marvel movies. They tried to have that same formulaic comedy. There was none of that. The comedy beats were pretty organic. And if they were a little bit on the not organic side, they were quickly followed up by something that, like, you know, erased your memory of it. being
Yeah,
really
okay,
awkward.
yeah. We're moving on now.
But I don't think he was quippy enough. And I think it was like he's leaning into that I'm Tobey Maguire from the third movie. I'm a little emo.
A little emo. Yeah.
But like the only time I think I saw him quip was, I guess, again in the montage. He was quippy in the montage.
Right,
He
right.
was quippy with Tombstone. He was quippy with Scorpion.
I think tonally though the movie did not. If we had have had more, and Andy, you were like, "Hey, maybe we're working towards a Sinister Six."
Mhm.
If the movie had been his rogues for the whole movie, I think we would have gotten more of that organically in the movie.
Yeah.
I think just because it was Jean Grey, and it's like, oh, it's just not appropriate.
Mhm.
Spider-Man, of course, it's appropriate. But
Yeah,
hey,
that's for me. That's it. It's like, and it's the the funniest thing about that is the less appropriate is the funnier he was with it.
yeah.
If anything, I probably in my youth spent too much time using Spider-Man's techniques and getting beat
Is
up because
there-
I was running my mouth too much.
Is there an argument to be made that if we go full on internal monologue, which becomes external monologue, i.e., Andrew Garfield in the backseat of the car, oh, he's got a gun, right? Like,
Oh, I love that.
if we,
That was
if
my
we,
favorite shit.
yeah,
though.
me too. If we go that far with it, is there an argument to be made that the general audience kind of goes, why is he talking like Deadpool, when it's really the other way around?
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of, yeah, it is a little the other way around. And yeah, that
Right.
I guess you're right that Deadpool has done that.
Yeah.
And that might be, I guess, did they consider that he looks exactly like Spider-Man when they made Deadpool? I don't think there was, there might be room for two of that, but I'll tell you who's done it the best, even better than Deadpool, and you both are going to go, oh God, here he goes again.
MCU or
No.
other franchise?
Other franchise.
Okay.
The character of Deku from My Hero Academia, it's an anime.
I would have had to have watched it.
Yeah, you would have had to have watched it. But he's analogously Spider-Man. Like he fills that role in the universe.
Yeah.
And I guess more he's Peter Parker than he's Spider-Man. His power set is not anything like that at all. But it's the best thing about the character is his inner monologue, and they're able to do it. Like we're not like, oh, we're not dumb. Like we can tell when a person is thinking, and like
Yep, yep.
there's a way to do it, and it's that level of introspection that I think that the character needs.
Sure, sure.
And not that Tom wasn't giving her, because he really did a good job of like staring at the ground and feeling like. But no, it's good. What did I say? Panting is not an emotion. but
You own a dog? Yes, it is.
but I feel like that's one thing about Spider-Man that's super integral, is that inner dialogue, and whether it's him analyzing a fight, whether it's him in the middle of a fight worried about Aunt May and completely thinking about where her flowers or her cake, where he webbed that, what building he was, and or
Yeah.
if he's like analyzing a situation so he doesn't harm civilians. That, and we get that in this, like where he webs the people and imminent danger, pulls them to the side and stuff. But it's just that level of what's going on in Peter's head that makes him the best superhero that ever was.
Right, right.
Like, it really grounds him. It really makes him human. And I think that's missing from the character as a whole. And it's
Marissa Tomei returning for this one, a bit of a surprise for me, I think. What about you, Andy?
I did not think they would do that, but it didn't shock me that they did it in a flashback type scenario.
Did you
a core memory for him?
Yeah, I liked it. Did I feel like it was a nice way to bring Jean Grey back to like, oh,
The side of angels.
yeah, exactly. Did you like the take on with great power bit?
Yeah,
Like she
your
wove-
greatest responsibility.
Yeah,
is,
yeah. She weaves it into
they still won't say
another
it. They still won't say it. That's the thing. Is
strange.
They keep not saying it, and maybe it's, I don't know. And so I really like Marissa Tomei. She's really good. It was very emotional. It was a nice emotional scene. All three of the characters had like nice chemistry together and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was excellent in the other movies, especially the awkward nervousness that the way
Yeah,
they interacted
yeah.
like a family. Having said which, I flipping hate the fact that Aunt May is the catalyst for Peter becoming Spider-Man and not Uncle Ben.
And not Ben, really.
There's no mention of Ben at all, ever, anywhere. Like I just, it's the core of Spider-Man. I don't know. I don't.
Is it Ben? Why can't May impart the lessons that Ben did?
100%. You're 100%
Right?
right. It's just
I
get
mean,
off
if-
my lawn. That's all it is. You're right.
Isn't the core message, with great power comes great responsibility? That's the core thing that
Right.
Peter takes from Ben. He could take it from his aunt.
He could, but he didn't like.
But damn it didn't happen that way.
Well, no, but like a burglar didn't kill his aunt that he failed to stop.
No, that's true.
Like,
but
the whole
is there more
reason-
impact? Is
the
there more
reason-
impact that he is potentially responsible for her death, and that makes it even more impactful?
But he was already Spider-Man. He'd
I
already
know.
chosen the mantle. There was no.
I know.
What's the catalyst?
Yeah.
It's just and it was the best thing about the Tobey Maguire movies until they fucking undid it in the third one. Why did we? Oh my goodness!
And then we go back to what I said before
I
about
forgive you, Sandman.
now we have to make sure that we hold to the things the stories we've already told.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is, and you could say a lot about like all the other superheroes, and we've had like 10 Supermans and 55
Yeah,
Batmans
yeah, yeah.
and stuff. But we've had
Sorry, I love that.
we've had 10 Spider-Man movies plus the rest of the MCU movies that Holland was in.
Yeah.
Since the year 2000, in 26 years, we've had a Spider-Man movie every 2 years.
Was 10,
25
9,
years.
9. 4 of these, two Garfields and 3 Maguires.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 9, and then what? Civil War.
Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
lots of Spider.
Yeah. Every
of
2
Spider.
years, we've had a Spider-Man movie for two and a half decades.
Oh,
And-
and Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse 2.
And like, I just need one to be perfect. I don't know. Maybe that's the crazy thing. Maybe I'm the nut, and I'm fully willing to embrace that I'm the nut, and I will sit and watch my Spider-Man movies in my head,
That's
and,
all right.
or read the Ditko comics.
I feel like there's a common theme when we have these conversations, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like, Hank, of the three of us,
Yes.
you are the most beholden to it had better be close to the source material.
Sure.
And I feel I'm probably the most forgiving of that stuff.
Yeah. Fair. And I know that there's no way, like, we're so far off the mark in terms of that here. When
Yeah.
they do a little nod, that's the juicy little bits that I will go, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not in 2029 or 2030 where nobody's going to make my Spider-Man 1963
Yeah,
and
yeah,
have
yeah.
it be the billion-dollar blockbuster. Nobody wants to, watch. I don't think anybody wants a period piece like that for anything other than novelty.
Given the previous Spider films in Holland's resume, the one thing that not one there's a few things. One thing that I kind of felt would have been nice, and I don't know if they're saving it for something. Where was J. Jonah Jameson in this movie?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, but
Why was he not even a mention of the Bugle or any of that?
there might have been a little nod. Did you catch the "just married" sign on the helicopter in the wedding scene?
Oh no, I did not.
John and Lucy. Could that have been John Jameson?
John Jameson could be.
Could that have been
Oh
Man-Wolf?
wow. Okay. All right.
I mean, I caught a few things like that. There's definitely a Kingpin for mayor
Poster stuck on the.
poster on the dumpster when he falls
Yeah.
in the alley there.
Wow. That's cool.
A few things like that. So
There's also a Saint Ryder poster that appears a bunch of times, but it's spelled like Rich Rider.
Oh really?
So
Richard Rider, as in like the
Nova.
like Nova. Oh wow, that's cool.
the other thing is curious. Like, he never addresses who he is,
Ooh, Peter.
who he's become. Who, like,
Yeah, I guess
he,
not.
He can't be Peter Parker. So
Gene says you've spent 4 years trying to erase
Peter,
yourself.
that's really strange that she would say that since it was already done for him. I do remember that and thinking that was strange. But I thought for sure he was going to be Ben Reilly, or
Oh, that'd have been a good one.
you know what I mean? I thought for sure he was going to
Oh,
have
I
an
don't think
alias.
I wouldn't have liked that. I
As
wouldn't
in,
have liked that.
He needs an alias. Peter Parker doesn't exist. How's he even getting internet? How does he
Well,
have
I mean,
phone service? He needs
maybe-
ID for that shit.
I guess so. Or it's
And
a
it's not
burner
like you
phone,
can go, hey, it's Spider-Man.
or it's a burner phone from the police force.
Can you get me a? Yeah, but he's yeah.
I mean, they could be paying for it. Maybe that's how he lives in the apartment. Who knows?
Yeah.
Spider-Man's on the payroll. Oh, they're McFarlane cover. Yay.
Do you think Sony has any input into the
100%.
what ends up on screen?
100%.
Yeah.
So do you think
Yeah.
they're like, use as many villains as you can so that this fucks over the rest of the Marvel universe?
I don't know. I actually made a comment. One of the media outlets, I won't say which one, had said that, this movie is a windfall for Sony and they're not holding back bragging about it. And I basically commented on it to say, good. Does that mean they'll stop making, bad
Spider-Man movies.
bad Spider-Man adjacent movies without Spider-Man?
Yeah.
It's like-
Probably not.
I kind of did dig the montage. Simply
I did too.
because we've
I did
got,
too, yeah.
1,000 issues of Spider-Man now.
Yeah, you can't get it all into one movie.
And there's so many villains. So don't break down and give Tombstone his own outing.
No,
Or
no.
Boomerang his own outing. Or the Tarantula his own outing. Just montage them in. We know they exist. They're there. They can come back when we need, like, the Frightful Four or the Sinister Six, whatever,
Yeah.
without having to, go in depth and give them an entire movie arc.
I mean, I really like this movie. Like, this is probably the one I've liked the most when I think about the MCU and what it's been like. And I've said it before, nothing has got my attention or held my attention or had my interest the same way that Phase 1 did, the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Nothing's been the same. There's been some good ones, but it's the Spider movies have been, by and large, all four of them have been sort of high watermarks.
And what do we think of the boyfriend being in there?
I'm like, it's Ezra Bridger. What's he doing here?
So there's a couple theories on him.
What are you doing, Jabba the Hutt?
It's probably just on the on the Disney set. You know what I mean? Like,
He just hopped in the world between worlds and jumped out.
Yeah.
I got a girlfriend now. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh, good. There is a theory, though, because when she comes back from her job interview and says, yeah, I don't want to work for a soulless corporation.
Yeah.
Is it possible the interview was at Oscorp?
Oscorp. That
And
makes
then
sense, yeah.
is this possibly Harry Osborn?
oh, don't they name him? I can't recall what his
They
name
don't.
is, but
Even
they
in the
don't
credits,
name
he's
him?
named as the boyfriend.
As the boyfriend. That's
Oh,
right.
really?
That's right. He is the boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think he looks like Michael Morbius.
Ooh.
Be a good Morbius, maybe.
Yeah.
Jared Leto touching people in movies and in real life.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But,
What do we got left?
well, we got this one, which was a bit of a swerve for me.
Oh yeah, you were disappointed in this.
I was disappointed we didn't get to see Keith David on screen.
Yeah.
Because like they put in that green jackal Easter egg, and then you have him going over a video, like doing the voiceover for the spider video.
Reciting the
Yeah.
and if the spider lives.
It turns into something new.
Yeah.
But like, is that enough Easter egg that maybe the guy narrating is Miles Warren, and that's going to get us
I
our
don't
Clone
know.
Saga down the road?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, and that's
Again,
what I'm-
setting up
yeah,
for something later, right?
100%
Is it
Jackal.
or is this just this is for you guys? This is for the two of you.
That's the
guys
that's
who are gonna
the kind
go,
of
"Oh, I
Easter egg
appreciate that."
really appreciate that.
Right.
More so than he's
Right?
swinging
Where
like
for
Cosmo
me,
Clown,
as
so-
the casual viewer, where like the MCU are my comics now,
Yeah.
I can look at that and go, "Oh, that's a thing. That's a keg on the table, right?" Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be more than that for me.
I mean, and this is a drop ball for me. Jackal is 100% the villain of my second movie of the trilogy. 100%
Yeah.
unused, untouched, untapped. We need Peter to go to college though for that.
Man, so here's the thing. There were in some of the media outlets when they were discussing about, oh, who's she gonna be, and everybody was like, yeah, it's gonna be Jean Grey. I did see a couple of comments where people are like, Firestar, and I'm like, well, I
could work.
I want that. You go to college. I said that years ago. You were around when I said it.
Yeah.
I made a post on some MCU thing. And I'm like, eventually Spider-Man's going to go to college. Wouldn't it be great if he rooms with Bobby Drake and Angelica? Angelica Jones.
Angelica Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? And I'm like, I would be okay if it's Firestar. And then it wasn't.
No.
That's okay. She can still turn up in the X movies.
It'll be
It's
good.
true.
I saw the casting. I can't recall the actress's name, but I've seen the casting for the White Queen.
We saw that. Yeah, I can't tell you her name either.
Between Sadie Sink and that girl, whoever's playing Cyclops has got his
Work cut out for
boots
him.
full. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. Oh, SpideyTracker.net. Are we there now? We're at the end. Okay, let's talk about the Spider Tracker. What did you think of the Spider Tracker? Ned is an MIT graduate. I don't think it's beyond his ability to make an
Write a small piece of software.
especially when it's a user input one where
Yeah.
people are putting in the dots themselves.
Yeah, it's basically an app, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I kind of I like this. I really liked that. I feel like, for whatever reason, they were connecting him to Peter even more than MJ. Like MJ is like aware of Spider-Man and stuff, but it's more like
Yeah.
he's obsessed beyond a reason, like a reasonable amount, that he's got this urge to know who he is, and I think that's some deep set thing inside him, which could be his Doctor Strange like powers, manifest
You
a
know,
little bit, but-
the way that Ned was sort of introduced to us in the movies, and I feel like Ned is one of us.
Yeah.
Ned is us. He loves Lego. He loves Star Wars, and so like, of course, Ned is obsessed with superheroes, and especially Spider-Man, who has saved him on multiple occasions.
Yes, absolutely.
Do we have a shot of the?
final?
No.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, we can talk about it though. The Spider Tracker is our post-credit scene. If you don't want to know about the post-credit scene, bye-bye. Go away. 3, 2, 1. You're still here? Okay. The post-credit scene, after the credits roll, and I mean fully roll, you get a post-credit scene. The Spider Tracker fires up, boop, 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 and we get a Spidey sighting off of Earth. Off Earth.
Yeah, and it's on Peter's phone, I think, because it's not on Ned's tablet.
No.
It's a phone, right?
Well, that's a phone too. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
flip.
one of
it's-
those double screen flip
It's
out.
double,
fold it.
essentially, it's a yeah.
But Peter only has the half one. Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
right,
The
chill, right?
yeah. The,
right. So it's the half.
Did I just
Yeah.
Muppets?
You did.
Sorry,
you
yeah.
did. Flip phone.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. But carry on. So it starts to blip.
It does blip, and that it kind of leaves us that way. And I swear, as soon as it popped up, the scene wasn't even over, and I burst out laughing like audibly, like ah, ha, ha, because I knew. By the way, I haven't seen a theater, especially where we live, this packed in a long time on a Thursday night.
I will say that. Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that not everybody in this theater knows what they're looking at, and they're going, "What the fuck is this?"
You could hear a few of the people like, "Oh, we waited for this."
This? Yeah, and I'm like, "No."
Lots of that.
I turned to Kim and I'm like, "Oh, that's Battle World," and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "We'll explain when we leave." And now we know from the Doomsday thing that it's the incursion version of which Battle World it's likely to be,
with possible elements from
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't see why they wouldn't.
There's a lot of chatter
Yeah.
online that because we're not going to get Tom Holland in Doomsday, but we are going to get Tobey Maguire.
That's
and
cool.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I don't know if it's fake or not because everything might be fake these days.
I know.
But I have seen a screenshot of the new Marvel logo from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And in the top left corner, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is wearing the Iron Spider suit. So
That's
if you wanna-
interesting.
you
Like
wanna
the red
Google
and
that
gold?
after? Red and gold.
The red and gold. Oh, wow.
And
That'd be
he's
cool.
rocking a beard.
Cool.
So I don't know if it's fan made or if it's official, but if you want to search it out after, you can check it out for yourselves.
That would be
So
cool.
there's a lot of speculation online that what they're picking up, that other Earth coming in, is Tobey Maguire.
I mean, we see,
Right,
yeah. I mean, because there's got to be a Spider-Man on it for the tracker to work, which means that there's a spider tracker on that planet too,
Well,
conceivably.
but so it's based on sightings, though, right? Like
Right.
It's not like they homed in on his DNA. It's where people are like, I saw him at 3rd and Main, and they push the button.
Right. So, like,
So if somebody sees him out in space, they
this is what I mean.
They had to
This
push
is
the
the.
button.
Is this one of those that excuse me? The meaning of that is just what it means. It's the symbolic of what it means. It's not a literal,
Yes.
and yet it is a literal. Oh, Spider-Man's going to be a
On-
part of this movie.
Yeah.
On this planet.
Yeah.
And the
then-
Spidey tracker is just a way for us as the audience to go, oh,
And the biggest duh of all time, maybe in the history of all time duhs,
Yep.
Spider-Man will return. Really?
I hope so.
We're just going to suddenly stop making them every 2 years for the last 25 years.
oh man.
But we know
Now,
Tom Holland's in at least one more. He's already come
Yeah,
out and said
yeah.
he's in at least one more.
Yeah.
And he said he's also said that they also have a very clear path to Miles Morales.
Yes,
and that
yeah,
he knows
yeah.
what it is.
Well, and this has been on the books now, or at least cooking in somebody's brain for years, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't he the worst guy to tell something big like that too?
Yeah. Yeah.
His first run in the MCU in interviews is crazy. I recently watched some of that stuff, and it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I can't believe I get to go to space, and everybody in the whole panel's like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
It's awesome.
Now, have you checked out this website yet?
SpideyTracker.net. Yeah.
No, I have not.
It is a legitimate site from Sony, and each one of those little spider icons, you hover it, it'll show you a clip, but they do link to scenes from the movie. So, like, you want to see where he fought Tombstone, that's on one of them. You see where he fought Scorpion, that's on another one.
Cool.
So I'm going to, there we go. SpideyTracker.net. Can we do a thing? Yes,
Maybe.
we can. Let's go here. Let's go accept. I'm going to do a screen share. That's what I'm going to do. Let's do a screen share, shall we? No, not start camera. Start my camera. Wrong one, Wes. There we go. Here we go. Share.
Excuse me.
And let's just, okay. Let's take this. Hang on a second. Let's go back to here.
Yep.
And do this. So there we go. Here we go. There it is. There's the Spidey tracker.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we want to do? Let's go
Click sound on.
sound on.
So
New sightings just came in. Adding them now.
I don't know if you can hear that. Hank, can you hear that?
I can hear that.
You did.
It's,
Okay, so maybe the audience can hear that too.
CEO of
Maybe.
Sex's voice.
Hopefully Sony doesn't cease and desist our shut down our stream.
maybe.
Well, that's kind of cool. So
We just played the
let's
theme song, so we might be.
can we
That is
zoom
less
in?
than 5 seconds though.
Can we zoom in? Oh, look at that. We can zoom in. Apparently Spidey's never been to Montreal, Ottawa, or Kingston, but
But he's been in New York.
it's amazing that they spot him in Washington D.C. That makes sense. Then we're down here in Georgia, Texas. Where else has he been? Phoenix, Arizona, and Long Beach, California.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Let's click on what's he doing in California.
View sighting.
Let's see that. Oceanside, California. All right, and can we get a close up? We can get a close up. Wow, that's a
So-
horrific looking suit.
Is
Oh,
this
so-
just somebody like
Can
adding their
fans
very
upload
own?
their stuff?
I don't know. Is that what
Because
we're looking
I got a
at?
few pictures of myself gussied up that I could.
All right, let's go to
looking
Phoenix,
like
Arizona.
Spiderman.
Spooderman. Spooderman. Let's see what this spooder looks
Dude, these are
like.
people uploading their own.
They definitely could be.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Click
because
on
that's
that, there's a little 3 bars on the top left there. Go back to the main menu.
Yep.
Hover the Spidey logo there.
Yeah,
So here.
No, up top.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Activity log report
Report
a
Keep sending in
sighting.
those sightings. I've got everything connected so I can take the tracker on the go for real time.
100%. There's about to be a
That's super
sighting
cool.
on this app from Nova Scotia.
That is
tonight.
super cool.
He
That is
showed up
super
in Nova
cool.
Scotia.
So there you go. There it is, the spider tracker. We'll take that out now. Hopefully the stream's still running. We still have
Spidey
people
tracker
watching.
or
So
Spider tracker.
Spidey,
SpideyTracker.
SpideyTracker.net. Wow. Andy, did you have any more slides in the slideshow?
No, that's all we got.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Wow, I feel like in a roundabout way we've managed to
Fully a mobile
discuss.
version.
Oh, is there a full mobile version? That's cool.
Yeah.
So this has been our kind of review discussion roundtable on Spider-Man Brand New Day. I guess before we wrap up, I should go around and say, hey, what are you doing on there? Get out of there, you. Go away.
Who's that?
I don't know. It's me.
It's trying to add itself again.
Stop doing that.
Did you hear AI broke out again?
Let me close this.
Maybe that's Jean Grey.
Stand by.
Could be.
Nah,
There you
I
go.
win. Was there any other
Still there for me.
any other points that you guys wanted to talk about?
I haven't heard anybody mention the Frozen Easter egg.
Oh, but you saw it. There it
I
is
saw
again. Oh, well, that's fine.
That's weird. But anyway,
We move.
did you notice it, Hank, when they were in Frank's house
Okay.
and MJ is looking at the family? The top shelf has a little figurine of Sven from Frozen.
Oh, so I've never seen that movie, so I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I would have never hit that.
You should watch it. It's not bad.
Need
I
a
totally
daughter.
missed it,
You'll
so-
get a daughter, a granddaughter. So I'll find one. I'll find one.
Your dog's a female. Go with that.
There you go.
I'll start.
That's the other thing. I just like before we wrap up, you just reminded me of something because you said Frank, and I was like, there was a point I wanted to make, and I had notes, but I was like, so Frank could just drive the battle wagon
the
around
van?
New York without the police pursuing him, or just
No,
like,
it's all good.
pull out rocket launchers, and it's all.
Oh yeah, the M240 grenade launcher through the window. Spidey webs
It's all
it
good.
up. He drops it and immediately has another one.
Fully stocked.
That was funny.
That was cute.
But the only things coming out of the back of the van with him were wrenches. Did you notice that? He had a lot of wrenches.
A lot of wrenches.
Yeah.
That's for when you want to throw a wrench in it.
It's glad to be back. I missed this, man. Heavy duty.
Yeah, I'm glad we're back too. It's been a little bit longer than I think any of us would have liked, but it was as long as we needed. So things should start to settle down, and we should get back to some semblance of regular schedule. And on that note, that means that Midlife Quest will also be resuming pretty soon. Can't tell you when the next one of those is going to happen because we have yet to record it. But you can go back and check out the previous four episodes of Midlife Quest. If you really wanted to, you can go back and check out the 141 previous episodes of Random Fandom, as this is the 142nd.
Yep.
I missed that at the beginning of the show.
That's all good.
It's okay, we got it now.
It's random this time.
And yeah.
Brush up on 3
this-
seasons of The Mandalorian before that hits the Disney.
Oh my gosh, yeah. A rare occasion when the three of us are together for a Tuesday night, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very nice. Anything you guys want to wrap up or close out on before we say goodnight?
Go watch it in theaters. It's a good movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I know what we should do.
Go watch it twice.
You should go thwip.
We'll thwip. However, I just want to end it with, we all had our thoughts coming into it at the beginning of the night. Hank, you led with a 6.
Yeah.
You said some other things throughout
I
the
did say some
show.
other things. Yeah.
So let's just round it out and go final numerical score. Now that we've had a good chit chat about it, a good stitching bitch, a good chew the fat on it. Where do we feel this Spider-Man Brand New Day? Where does it land on the fandom scale? Andy, you want to go first?
I'm putting it at 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
But
wow.
I want to see some of that stuff that hit the cutting room floor.
I would like to see that as well. Spider-Man Brand New Day for me, not my favorite. Probably my second favorite of the Holland films. 7.5.
There you go. I'm going to come up to a 7, but I'm going to preface that with what I think is a 9 for a Spidey movie, and that's The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, what a good movie.
So I'll come up to a 7. You guys have softened me a little bit on it.
All right.
I think I've enjoyed the discussion more than the movie. This discussion's been a 10.
It'll make the rewatch nicer when it comes to home
Like
media.
I say, when I said I didn't like it, I think I misspoke. It's not that I didn't like it. There's just a lot about it I didn't like, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, we're being critical, but yeah.
You had the
come up to a
best
7.
line. Hank, you had the best line in our private chat. I don't normally see movies I don't like twice in the theater.
It has happened though. I thought the better line was my reaction when I first came out of the theater. The first one was, "Well, Marvel fixed their third act problem.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
I
at
know.
the expense
Yeah.
of the first 2 acts."
But they did. The third act was great.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Even with the weird hand stuff, it was still good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the hand could have been anybody at this point, but
Yeah.
But at least the hand can move more akin to a Spider-Man than, say, like a handful of DOD guys.
One last point, because we're talking about ninjas now. Oh my God, what's her name? Henwick.
Jessica Henwick,
Yeah,
who plays
Colleen Wing,
Colleen Wing,
not coming back.
not coming back.
Was offered, said no.
Oh, turning down that Marvel money.
Colleen Wing, not coming back. So somebody's got to clean up the fucking hand. Matt Murdock, where are you? Anyway.
Get Misty Knight in there. She can do it.
All right. I got nothing else.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Listen, I hope you guys had a good time hanging out with us. As good a time as we had hanging out with you guys. Of course, whatever your thing is, remember, fan on. And as always, for Fandom Power, my name is Wes.
I'm Andy.
I'm Hank.
And we will see you on the next one. And there will be a next one. Bye for now.